couple of weekends ago, I was able to go and walk the dog with my daughter and see her face for the first time, and it's definitely been 5 to 7 years. I'd say maybe up to 10 years. I've not been able to see the details of a face. And life's great, and having that community and seeing on the phone, being able to watch stuff on the TV. It's just and yeah, knowing there's other people out there is just great. I'm not just sort of a lonely old blind guy that would then I could almost cry. Blind and crippled, Dave. That was me.
You're making me cry. Shaun, how did you find Carnivore?
Well, I guess there's a long backstory to that, starting in 2006 with a diagnosis of eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa, uh, which causes blindness due to the retina cells dying. The the diagnosis was I was working at the time was pretty uh, shocking, if you like. I know I sort of struggled with uh, with the idea that I was going to go blind, but it became something of uh, a research thing for me over the years to look into it. Medical technology, science progresses, and maybe there's something in the future that might help me and other people. So 2006, 2008, I did have to quit my job working in computers. I was traveling around the world, had plans to do more of the same. It's, training people in computer software development and primarily in the airline industry, doing reservation systems, the Australian Customs Department, and some prior um, knowledge with networking and systems. Yeah, so I was doing fairly well, but I did have to quit my job. And I was lucky I had some insurance, so I was able to buy a house and settle down. So 2009, I got to the point where I was sort of living by myself. I had a nice house. I got a guide dog. Life was fine. I was coping. I still see a bit to do things. It's a retinitis pigmentosa is a degenerative disease, and I feel like it's maybe a transition, but I felt happy that it was me, uh, someone I loved, cared for. Uh, Certainly, like I have grown up with coping skills, I believe, and had a lot of experience in life. So, I was 40, 41 or something like that, and enrolled on 2010. I did some teaching qualifications. 2011, the eyesight's getting worse, but I did go over to America and I got a stem cell treatment, um, which I did some tests before and some tests after. The treatment worked in my mind, although some of the tests did not show any particular difference. Uh, but the stem cells from my own body were injected into the eye, intraocular, and other places. So rolling forward in time, in 2014, 2015, that's had some loss in the family. Um, uh, the loss of my mum and my grandmother, so very stepfather, very quickly, and it was probably drinking a lot of beer to maybe pass the time. Eating, I was cooking my own meals, but I did have access to some takeaway food, especially pizza. So I'd buy a few pizzas and go to a Chinese shop every now and then. 2016, I woke up one morning with the shakes, realizing now I've drunk too much. I need to stop, and I did. And but I had some pain in the hip, uh, maybe for a few years before that. But in 2016, I think unmasking the pain from not drinking alcohol, and the hip pain sort of developed into walking the dog to the park in the mornings, as I do. Uh, it was got a bit of pain walking, so it was interesting. I blamed the mattress, replaced the mattress. Um, I tried various painkillers. I think as a result from not drinking, I definitely ate a lot more food. I did put on a lot of weight, and it probably got up to around 100 kilos. I'm 186 centimeters, so I could hide 100. I could hide 100 kilos fairly easily. Um, and I'm a fairly tall, skinny guy, if you like. Never had a lot of weight. And, I didn't feel too bad about it, but yeah, the pain did get worse over the years. Scroll forward 2019. I got a guide dog in 2009. I got my first guide dog, Berry, lovely Labrador. She's gorgeous. 2019, um, I was living. I'd moved. I bought a property in the bush, and surrounded by a national park, and I developed a farm. And I obviously my eyesight deteriorated to the point where uh, couldn't see much at all. The TV was all blurry. Probably the computer, the telephone was no good. The computer was something I could still see enough because I've had so much practice over the years as a computer person. Uh, and I've been doing some volunteer work for the Aquaculture Association in Australia to do some of their website stuff, and it's fairly easy work, but it keeps me busy. 2019 was a pivotal moment though, but in my health was I was getting to the point where it was hard to walk anywhere. And on this property I owned, there was dirt tracks, and I'd often walk the dogs on these dirt tracks, and some days I couldn't go very far at all. Certainly not uphill. Uh, and I had help. I spent a lot of time there on my own, so I didn't go out too much. I had TV, I had internet, food. I had a freezer full of food. And I was eating. I'd buy a lot of vegetables. I'd buy a lot of meat. Um, Chocolates. Not so much cakes and biscuits, but I did have a bit of a sugary diet in retrospect, with potatoes uh, and burgers and starchy vegetables. So I think 2020 I was to a point where I got help. Uh, I saw a doctor who did blood tests. I had cholesterol. Uh, I had anxiety, and I have had anxiety for a long time. Chronic nail biter now. Acupuncture, osteopath, physiotherapy, chiropractor, uh, multiple scans, ultrasounds, CT scans, obviously painkillers, really strong ones. I've never been a tablet taking type person, so I really did resist on taking tablets, but I had to at some stage. But the painkillers didn't really help. Interesting thing about the cholesterol tablets, I said no straight away because I have had some research that I've been doing over the years. I mentioned before. The research was blueberries lower cholesterol, so I started eating blueberries. Went back, got a test, and the doctor was right. You'd have to eat a lot of blueberries to lower your cholesterol. I'm not sure what the numbers were back then, uh, but I did proceed with getting the Lipitor statin, which I took for I don't know, maybe a year. I ended up stopped taking them. I didn't see particularly any value. Um, and I did
Sorry to
have
interrupt. Did you notice any side effects with Lipitor?
no, I don't believe so. No. I've done some research about Lipitor though, and the idea of the cholesterol is made in the brain because it's the particle. It's too big to pass through the blood barrier, so the brain actually makes its own cholesterol. So the idea of a Lipitor, which can also pass through the blood-brain barrier, taking whatever it does, dissolve the cholesterol in the brain. That doesn't sound right. So I just kept that in the back of my mind. I actually did change homes. I moved, sold the farm. It all got too hard. We had bushfires here in 2019. I missed by that much. Getting burnt out for sure. Prior to that was drought, but I did get a lot of stuff going. I got a nice big greenhouse, an aquaculture set up, lots of dams, a bit of an orchard, and I had things set up to be a yabby farmer. So I have a slight fancy for the Australian yabby, and I think they're cool. They're an interesting animal that can go into hibernation for many, many years and come back out in times, much like some.
Just for people that may not know what a yabby is, could you explain what a yabby is?
I certainly can. So a yabby is an Australian crayfish. Um, a crustacean, it's a crayfish. Uh, it's like a small lobster, if you like. And in America, I think they'd know them as crawfish, red claw. We have a few species in Australia: the blue claw, red claw, and the marron. Um, and some lucky farmers in Australia do actually export yabbies overseas to China and other places. Sweden's an interesting one. They do love the yabby. It's and I think there is a good aquaculture market for those farm raised fish, uh, and certainly farm raised yabbies. I know maybe there's some contention with the value and what the animal's been fed. I certainly agree with that. I recently found out that I've got a little bit of an allergy to pork, it would seem. Um, so, but I think there's a lot of studies that can be done with aquaculture, which have not been done. So, 2020, did a bunch of tests, nothing worked. Didn't have rheumatoid arthritis, which was good, but I was diagnosed with bursitis and tendonitis, pains that go from the hip on both sides and down to the inside of the leg and the knee. Um, and there's probably 2021, I was having problems doing daily chores. My diet was, I was dating someone that was a cook, and she's a wonderful person and a wonderful cook. But there's a lot of sugary stuff going on, a lot of desserts. And my pain was getting worse. The without sort of going too much into it, I think my anxiety and depression definitely sort of kicked in a lot more, affected home life a bit. The life was fairly normal realistically, but just the idea of trying to avoid going to walk the dog just across the road because I know I'm going to get 20 meters across the road and the pain will start at level 2. maybe go up to level 4 fairly quickly. Uh, Depending on the terrain, how rough things are, it's, whether the dog's pulling me along or not. That pain can go up to really quite high. I have to stop walking. Um, so, what did I do? Of course, I was following doctor's advice. I had moved and I changed doctors, and he did a test uh, because I went in with nerves, like tingling nerves in my groin. It was like you could actually physically feel the nerve in under the skin, tingling and jumping, vibrating, maybe the best way. Um, so that was annoying. Quite did more ultrasound testing and blood tests, and cholesterol was high, fine. But no sort of reason why this pain was happening other than the tendonitis, bursitis, arthritis was getting worse. I just refused to take the cholesterol tablets. I got the script. I didn't fill it out. It started with R. It was different from the other one. Um, and yeah, I just sort of moved on with life. I did start swimming. I couldn't walk. I did a lot of washing clothes. So I got some exercise swimming, doing laps, and I got fairly good at doing that because it wasn't hurting my hips. I like doing laps. Being vision impaired, I could go to the pool with my guide dog, sometimes by myself, and it helped me get in the pool and breaststroke, do laps, do laps. It was good. So I got some fitness out of doing that. Got some upper body strength, a few muscles maybe, which you can actually see now, but not taking my shirt off. 2022, I think we're up to 2023. This year was probably the worst start of the year. My partner at the time, her mother came and lived with us for 6 months and then died in rather tragic sort of circumstances. Um, and things with her and her daughter as well sort of got rocky and uneven, and understandably for me it was hard on them if I was being cranky or upset or uh, and sometimes when you're in pain like this it feels like you're being accused of something, like you're being blamed for it, um, like you're making it up or trying to make excuses. I did get that a bit. Uh, it's very unfair, but I mean, I can understand if I don't, if I look normal, sort of walking around, and then all of a sudden, no, I don't want to do anymore. It, it's something that doesn't really gel sometimes. My hips were at the point I can press into my hip either side. It was like putting a needle in to my hip, and that was all the time. Um, and if it got bad, I just had to limp around and so life went on, but something came to a crux, and I will answer your question. How did Carnivore come? I decided to research, and I've been getting emails from Medscape Daily News, medical journals, I think, and I did do daily intermittent fasting for about a year and a half. I did lose a little bit of weight, but still had the pain. So I did that from a medical journal that was about mice doing intermittent fasting and how they had health outcomes. So I did that for a while, and so what to do my research, I had to talk to the phone. So YouTube inflammatory diet, YouTube, and try to guess if because at this point I can't see the phone properly. It's just blurry. I see a little bit on the computer, but nothing on the TV. I'm just pressing. So I came across some inflammation diets to stop inflammation. So I did some research on that, and they were actually sort of vegan, vegetarian-based diets, which I really wasn't keen on. I watched the videos. It sounded like uh, I remember this one guy was you could sort of tell a bit by the blurry body language. He was really at the audience, and uh, just I felt a bit uncomfortable with the way he was projecting himself. But I kept looking. I did find the ketogenic diet, and I watched a bunch of videos from Dr. Sten. I think he's an Olympic athlete. Uh,
Dr. Ekberg.
yes, yes, Sten Ekberg. And I liked his dry approach. Very nonsensical. It was easy to understand. We learned a bit more about fasting because I was doing that, and autophagy. It's very interesting. I didn't realise what autophagy was. I've never done a real diet. I did go low fat for a while, skim milk, cut the fat off the meat, whatever. Um, but my epiphany with, I think, was stem. It was the carbohydrates are a thing in the food, and they turn into sugar. It's like, well, didn't know that. Perhaps that's something I should have learned. And I've said this to a few people, and do you know that potato just turns into 10 teaspoons of sugar, or that cup of rice, 10 teaspoons of sugar. And I showed my daughter the bread she was eating. Two suggested servings, 2 slices, 40 grams of sugar. That's a lot of sugar in 2 pieces of toast. And what are you going to put on that? Some jam? Um, so with so I decided the sugar was the cause of inflammation. I want to get rid of the inflammation. Sick of the pain. Try a diet. Tried the ketogenic. Tried to with the ketogenic diet. Just sort of made sense. It's meat and low carb veg. A bit fruit. And I started on the 11th of June this year. 2 weeks of sugar addiction withdrawal. That's a real thing. Who would have known? Uh, I cried. I remember I cried. I didn't really know why. I felt upset, angry, depressed, anxious. I didn't really. I wasn't craving to have the sugar. I didn't really want to do this. It was very upsetting. Um,
So sorry to interrupt, but this withdrawal that you're experiencing, this is a good sign that it's probably not a good thing for your body, right?
in retrospect, yes, 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 yes. And so I was only sort of poaching a bit of information, 28-day ketogenic diet from YouTube because I couldn't read a whole bunch of text. When I'm using the computer, I'd often use ones where you can press on the button and it reads it to you. So ketogenic diet taught me about carbs, taught me about sugar. I remember as a young boy, sugar was never a big thing. It was, to make you fat. So somewhere along the line, that message got lost. Um, so starting the ketogenic diet was great. After 2 weeks, I don't know if it was the sugar addiction went away and took the anxiety with it, or the fact that it was, thank God that was over. Because the withdrawals are pretty hardcore, I must admit. And I've done withdrawals from alcohol. The alcohol took a bit longer, but wasn't as hard on the brain. Um, I think alcohol just laid me on the couch for a while, whereas the sugar addiction was sort of messing with my head a little bit. Knowing full well there's other people in the house, they're eating cakes, and I can't keep alone. That definitely makes life easier. After a couple of weeks, and the anxiety, just seemed to go away. Within 3 weeks, it was Zen Master. That's what I was saying to people. Put it in hand like it's rock solid. I haven't felt like this, I don't know, forever. That's the way I felt. It's eye-opening. And it at the same time, it made sense. It totally made sense. When if you're having a sugar high, that's just, for rushy. You're having a sugar low. It's like, so living your life in this balanced of state of high and low, compared to just running on ketones, running on their own fat, and I had plenty of it. I went from 100 kilos down to, I'd lost a little bit doing the swimming, but I think I lost probably about 10 kilos fairly quickly. When I started to weigh myself, because I was becoming interested in that. I just wanted to get rid of the inflammation. I didn't know the diet would actually reduce weight so much. A pleasant surprise. It was fun. The the next thing I noticed um, was I had the keto flu, so I had some rash on around my ankles on both sides, my legs, and sometimes it seems to alternate sides, and that comes and goes still. But what happened within 3 weeks, I noticed my phone was brighter, or seemed brighter. And then I think maybe the next day or so, I noticed the computer screen was also brighter. And I've had this computer for 10 years, and it's been turned up full brightness the whole time. Uh, and admittedly, the screen's probably wearing out a bit. It's got some lines running through it. But the screen seemed brighter, so an old computer screen should go darker. I'm a computer guy who used to develop software. So I'm very familiar with my little Linux laptop. And so the computer screen's brighter, and the rooms and the walls seem brighter. I remember being outside, I was just looking inside, it's night time. I'm not sure I was doing outside, something naughty probably. I was looking at the TV. The screen of the TV looked more colourful. It was kind of like a rainbow, sort of very saturated hues would be the word. So that was interesting. It's
That was how long in?
so about 3 weeks. I sort of started noticing that my eyesight was getting a bit better. Um, so And I didn't put two and two together straight away. I was just like, something, don't know, whatever. Um, and part of my retinitis pigmentosa, I've had the genes tested. I have RPE1 mutant gene. Part of the symptoms are flashing, so the retina cells turning on and off as they die. Um, that happens day or night with my eyes open or closed. So that's quite annoying. So I thought it was just something to do with that, or the floaters, or something rather. But I did keep watching these videos on YouTube on my phone, and I was watching a fellow by the name of Thomas DeLauer. I found very interesting. I don't follow him, but I sort of picked up a few words by beta hydroxybutyrate and all those scientific words that you can wrap together into a sentence that doesn't always uh, congeal to fact, uh, as far as I can tell. But I kept watching, but I did notice that on the screen things also seemed to be brighter, and I was turning the screen down. Normally I'd say, "Hey Siri, turn the screen down." I'd normally turn it up. It's always turning the bloody thing up. Now I'm turning the screen down. So I'm thinking to myself, why am I turning the screen down? And I'm noticing, well, text looks a little bit better. Um, and then it clicked. It's like, well, okay, so something's happened with my diet. Nothing else particularly has changed, and I got in touch with Melbourne University, who did the genetic testing for myself and sort of explained what I noticed, and they said, "Oh, we'll get some tests done." That they could arrange for an OCT. But before I did that, I went and saw an optometrist, and I had eye tests back March 2020. No hand movements, no eye chart results. So, 3 years later, more than 3 years later, I didn't expect any results, but I got the optometrist test, and my left eye, yeah, can see hand movements, not much, but my right eye could see the chart and the 6/30 - 2, which is like, woohoo, yeah, the fist pump there. I can see the eye chart, number one, and I'm reading some of the letters on there. So this is curious. My eyesight seemed to get better. Um, and I did a few more tests to see. They did the OCT scans. They did tests, uh, and I found that. Firstly, I think they found that I had cataracts. It's like, well, the report from 2020 did not show any cataracts, so that's happened in the past 3 years. So I don't know how quickly that developed. And they said, well, it's very mild. In your case, probably no benefit getting cataract surgery. Um, so I did it. So one, two, three tests. One was good. One was bad. I said to the eye specialist, the ophthalmologist who could do the surgery, um, I just want to do it. He was trying to talk me out of it. And if you read the letter that he sent to my doctor, he was obviously trying to make sure he was clear of any problems, indemnity, you might say. The So I went ahead with the operation. Actually got booked in very quickly, within a couple of weeks. Did the operation on the 16th of August. So started keto, and in between keto to the cataract surgery, I actually transitioned to carnivore. I remember being on the 15th. I actually had to go and get a impacted wisdom tooth taken out of my jaw. So that was a general anaesthetic operation. I was in pain the next day. But on the 16th, I had this cataract operation. I'm just going blah 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 blah, blah ketogenic diet, carnivore, blah blah blah. And I mean, I got some great feedback from the anaesthesiologist the day before, and some of the nurses were doing it, and same with the ophthalmologist and some of the staff. They were very keen to know more. And, um, you know, so the surgeon, it was funny. I'm on the table. He's got all the equipment ready. He had to tell me to shut up so he could do the operation. All nice and calm and numbed out. So very quickly, very smoothly. Um, and as he said, he didn't want to do it, and he did it. And well, 4 days later, I don't know how to explain this. 4 days later, I did another eye test. I did four in a row. So the next eye test, and the smaller number, the better. So I got a 6/21 in my right eye and hand movements in the left eye. So 6/21 is great. 4 days after the cataract operation. At this point, I didn't have glasses. I didn't know that I needed glasses. I'm wearing glasses now because one eye's had a cataract done, the other eye hasn't. So cataract operation successful. It did take a while. It took probably a month for the visual system to readjust, especially first thing in the morning. It's very blurry in the mornings. In fact, probably took up to 2 months. But exceptional circumstances may be that the eyes were also improving at the same time as cataract operation, which would match with the next set of results. So I got a 6/21. That being the 20th of August. So I think within Next one I had was with uh, the optometrist because I had to get some glasses. I didn't even know I needed to get just a zoom lens, 1.5, two times zoom lens. So, so I got some glasses. Great. Do an eye test. Yeah, sure. Because do an eye test. Okay, let's try. 6/18. Well, that's better than 21. Great, no problems. Thanks very much. Glasses on order. Uh, I go back to the ophthalmologist who does a follow up 2 weeks later. Uh, I arrived late to the appointment, so I couldn't speak to him. But I did the eye chart test, and I got a 6/18. Okay, is even better. How good's it going to get? Um, I've been twice back to the optometrist locally to pick up the glasses. Okay, fine, let's give it a go. 6/15. That was that's great. And I've got my new glasses, so unassisted 6/15, which is a bunch of small letters, and in the a written piece of cardboard, they've got the text, and I could read all the text a bit at a time because I'm still seeing through a fairly small patch of retina cells that are still working. But I can see 6 point text. And even the girls, she said, that's remarkable. We don't expect people to see 6 point text assisted with glasses, and certainly not someone in your condition. So that was great. And I've done another subsequent test, 6/12 -2. Uh, and that was, I think, about 3 weeks ago. So, I'm fist pumping the air. My pain has gone away. It has reoccurred, and I think with the introduction of a couple of things which my body's not happy with. Um, I've been able to join the gym, but with the guide dog, limited vision, it's a hard environment. I really do enjoy doing it. I can't do it by myself. So I think the X3 gym set, whatever it is, that sounds like it might be something worth investing in. I put my guide dog, my last guide dog died of cancer. I mean, what a tragedy. You have to put your dog down, especially someone you love so much. This guide dog did his crucial ligament knee surgery, and has been on the standard doggy diet, the good stuff, with the occasional bone and fat off my plate. I was affording that to him. But with permission from Guide Dogs Australia, he's on the carnivore diet as well and loving it. And that, well, I have to say, now I had to get a new TV because the other one was really big, and seeing through only a small amount of central vision in one eye, the other eye is still blurry. Uh, I was seeing the TV, but the TV stopped working, so serendipity, I'll get a new TV. New TV's brighter, it's a bit smaller, so I can fit a bit more into my vision at once. I can read text on the TV. I haven't been able to do that for at least 10 years. The phone's amazing. It's a little lightning bolt when you plug it into power on the iPhone. I mean, that was just all a blur. Uh, read text, I can do comments. And because my vision came back, hey, I've been able to find Dr. Baker, Dr. Berry, Dr. Chafee. I love that guy. He's great. Dave Mack, you're a legend. Kerry at Homestead Howe, and Low Carb Down Under, and all the excellent people that they have on. And I hope they have more. And I hope Gary Fetke and his lovely wife Linda can go and do the best that they can to help other people. Because once the red pill analogy, once you've taken that pill, you just realise it's been all around us all along. And now that the filter's down, I watch TV and it's like, oh my God, look at all this stuff. It's just advertising junk food that's really bad for you. And the next ads the pill to cure the inevitable disease.
Right.
Um, it's crazy. It really is crazy. So I think that's a good rundown of my story to date.
Yeah.
I've been telling people, running around to every butcher, it's like, oh, I can't afford that, I can't afford that. And I'm getting feedback. It's like, yeah, oh, yeah, we get people like you coming in every day. They're as happy as me. They look good, they're happy, and they're talking how they've reversed their problems. And I kind of started this off thinking I'm all alone in the world. Um, and yeah, my eyesight got better, and then I found you guys, and then I did the learning.
Yeah.
it's it's yeah, it's
This is just an awesome
amazing.
story. Um,
Man, it's my own, and it hasn't stopped yet, man. I fully believe this is maybe not the end. My eyesight could get better, more better.
mm,
My left eye, for instance, I couldn't see anything. I keep trying every now and again. What can I see? What can I see? Things are looking brighter. And as a result of that eye not working much for years, it became lazy and pointed off to one direction for a long time. I've noticed it's pulled back into line. It's now probably the same brightness as the other eye because they did seem to vary brightness when got my bit more light in. Um, I no longer have any in the list of things that's other things that it's fixed. I think it's reminiscent of everybody else's story, including not feeling as cold. Because I started this during winter time, so I'm walking around in short shirts, and that's normally have long johns on sometimes. And just the anxiety was just amazing. The pain going away, and my eyesight getting better, and mosquitoes seem to bounce off me because we're in spring here now, uh, coming into summer next month, so it'll be hot. Australia gets bloody hot, I can tell you. Get a lot of mosquitoes, but yeah, they don't seem to be bothering me anymore. Skin health, hair health. I mean, my ears are growing hair like crazy. I've had to trim more off, I'd say. Um, yeah, my
so,
gums as well. I've had a bunch of dental work done because not looking after your teeth, old age. Um, but I've got most of my teeth. They're looking pretty good these days, I hope. Yeah, that's right. But if if I didn't know any better, I'd say by doing the diet, my gums are a lot more healthy, without doubt. None of the bleeding gums, and if I floss my teeth, it feels quite solid and you can go, not run the risk of hurting yourself. Um, yeah, so the energy thing, lots more energy. If it wasn't for all this stuff and not being able to get to the gym with the guide dog easily, I'd probably hit the gym a lot more because I do feel like I've got a lot more energy. But being vision impaired, I can't walk out the front door without being concerned about running into something or someone running into me. So I avoid that. I have a helper that helps me out 3 to 4 times a week,
so
which is great.
it's interesting you mentioned the energy because I feel myself and other people I've talked to, when you start eating this way, it almost the you're almost compelled to move. It's almost a compulsion that, come on, let's go, let's get up, let's do something. So your
Yeah.
your feeling of wanting to be in the gym kind of resonates with me.
Yeah. Now I find myself sitting down for a moment and then getting up and doing stuff. It's like, okay, well, I was doing that today because I'm not pacing around, but it's like, move this from here to there and play around with some food. I've got lamb shanks on. I want to rush to the kitchen right now and check them. But wait, they're on low, they're fine. I've got my glasses off, so I can watch TV without the glasses. So this is a little bit too close range. just it's to be it's a bit blurry. Um, but weekends ago, I was able to go walk the dog with my daughter and see her face for the first time, and it's definitely been 5 to 7 years. I'd say maybe up to 10 years. Um, I've not been able to see the details of a face. And I got it confirmed by holding some fingers up. It's like, oh yeah, holding up 2 fingers, other hand. um, so with the right lighting, and considering I've got this constant flashing, which is flashing little white dots everywhere as the cells turn on and off. Um, with good lighting, I can see fairly well. This TV is brilliant. It's great. Currently in front of a window, so it's a bit glary and quite
So,
scary.
so can you describe now, like looking at your computer screen right now, can you make out my image on the screen?
There's a window right there. So the glare from the window is competing along with the flashing in my eyes. Um, but I can close the blind. It's just I'll be sitting in darkness, which is just makes it easier for me to see and not as glary and
Got it. Well, I appreciate you having the blinds open just so we're able to see you better. So thank you for that, even though that's making it difficult on your end. Um,
yeah. That's why I said before. Am I looking at the camera? I can't really tell, but I can see you before. Yep, you're a handsome man.
cheers. Um, so like what impact has this had on your outlook on things? So if you compare your outlook on, the future 3 years ago versus now, what's changed?
Oh, well, 3 years ago, I was just coping, getting along with life. Compared to now, I mean, it's night and day. That's without question. The outlook on life is there is hope. Never any hope. I mean, my condition is degenerative. It's not supposed to get better. There's no prevention. There's no treatment. There's no cure. And when talking to the people in Melbourne University, they didn't really understand it. They understand genetics, um, and I did poke them a little bit, sort of like, oh, what about this and what about that? What about autophagy? Is the hematopoietic stem cells coming from the bone marrow? Is it change of metabolism? Is it what is it? And they came back with, well, less oxidation. Yeah, okay, check, no sugar. Less inflammation, double check, no sugar. All the rest of the seed oils and whatever else I was inadvertently consuming on a high inflammatory diet, which included fruit and vegetables, and quite often no meat. Um, and anyhow, let's not go down that path. What's bright in the future? In the past 6 months, oh my god! So I think I was at the point I was going to go on antidepressants. I've got the CBD oil or THC oil, and that doesn't work. And the strong opioid tablets, those didn't work. I went to a car event. I've actually owned a racing car up for sale. And the event, 2-day event, I couldn't walk around. I was really upset. The fact that I'm here to enjoy a race event. I'd love to run over there and go see who crashed and go check out the team. And it's just I have to stop. It's just painful. And that was kind of the trigger to do something. It's like, I just can't live like this. And I don't like taking tablets. I grew up in a family where there was, the box of tablets at night time or in the morning. And, they all had good diets, home, whole foods, all the rest of it. Not too many whey and cakes and whatever else. yeah, it was just a slow progress of just enough mashed potato and ice cream every night, stroke, that sort of thing. Dementia from my grandmother and early death from my mum. Drank it too much. So my outlook, Dave, has changed uh, so dramatically. I had to get out of a relationship, and I went through this in ketosis, and like I said, I was Zen master. This has got to happen. It's for the best. It's not healthy living in a toxic type relationship, and it was getting towards that end. So my life's changed. I've bought new clothes. I've splurged on myself on nice cuts of meat and a new TV. I'm new clothes, wearing new top, and I just buy ordinary clothes. I had to buy clothes because nothing fit anymore. I'm back to my schoolboy weight. So 100 kilos, lost 27 kilos at my top. So I'm 73 kilos. I've still got a bit of tummy fat there. So I don't think I need to lose too much more. Um, and yeah, it's my life outlook. My life's changed. And I've got. Thank you all you doctors for being so brave and saying what the truth is. And it's a grassroots level. I'm telling as many people as I can. I'll start a podcast if I can get some help doing so because the challenge with vision. I can obviously talk a bit, so maybe that's a thing. um,
That's definitely an advantage. Yeah, definitely
yes,
advantage podcasting. Yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And I believe I'm in a happy disposition, which can be infectious at times. I know I do stretch myself with shopkeepers. It's like trying to make their day, especially butchers. They talk a bit of this, talk a bit of that, and life great. Do a bit of flirt. Oh, maybe I should. No, I can do a bit of flirting. That's okay. I'm serious. Fine. Uh, yeah, so life's good, Dave. How's your life? You
Yeah,
must be
great.
this stuff.
Yeah, it's great. Every day is better, and yeah, I'm so happy to be a member of this community, and it feels like, it's just so it's just such
Yeah,
a nice feeling to be part of this massive group of people all pushing forward for better health.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
I'm with you. I mean, um, it's hard to explain, but knowing there's other people out there that are doing this, it's not just a way of eating. It's and sure, I mean, my health's improved. My arthritis is great. Um, I mean, I couldn't sit at this very chair for more than 10, 15 minutes without shooting pains burning across my shoulders, which would eventually radiate down the back. And having that community and seeing on the phone, being able to watch stuff on the TV, it's just, and yeah, knowing there's other people out there is just great. I'm not just sort of a lonely old blind guy that would, then I could almost cry. Blind and crippled, Dave. That was me. I
You're making me cry.
was so close, man.
Um, yeah,
Thank you.
so sorry.
I love you all you carnivores. Yep, it feels a bit like a family.
So at this stage, you don't have any kind of podcast or any social media set up at the moment?
No, I've been commenting on YouTube. And yeah, I'm a way back computer geek. I mean, I started working on computers at the age of 12, 14. I hacked into a VAX 11780 uh, from a games account. I could load and unload disk packs, I think, called RM80. Nice mainframe. I've worked on Vaxes professionally uh, from 1989 onwards. Working with computers, you probably geek out with Novell or some of the Lotus products, or
I remember Novell three.
because I think you're a bit of an old school geek too, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
some amazing stuff. But I'm not going to go into my computer geeky background because that's a big story I love talking about, and I'll save that for my podcast if that happens.
Shaun, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your journey with us. It's so very
No, my
inspiring.
pleasure.